Harlow Higbee may not be able to tell you what she likes, but her smile speaks volumes. Her parents, Rick and Kim Higbee, say immediately after her birth, doctors noticed low muscle tone, but testing didn't identify a problem. Then, at 6 months old, an MRI showed one side of the brain was larger than the other.
So that was the first, like, all right, something is really wrong.
It would be another 3 months before genetic testing would reveal Harlow had pyruvate dehydrogenase complex deficiency, PDCD for short, an extremely rare degenerative mitochondrial metabolic disease with a life expectancy of early childhood to adolescence.
And it's scary because there is no cure. We kind of didn't know who to turn to ask questions.
The Higbees met with Dr. Pamela Trepane, the chief of the Division of Pediatric Genetics at UF Health Jacksonville. She says with PDCD there is a problem in one of the primary steps that converts food into energy in the body.
And there are a lot of different steps in there in a lot of different places, a lot of different conditions. But this is one of the primary places that you're going to, a critical step in being able to make that energy.
Children with PDCD can't metabolize carbohydrates, so lactic acid builds up to a dangerous level in their organs and robs them of energy. The disease usually attacks the brain first and then the muscular system, and in severe cases can cause seizures. Harlow was put on a ketogenic diet, which Dr. Trepane says is basically trying to train the body to create energy in a different way, and Higbee say it has made a difference for Harlow, but they are discouraged by how little research has been done into PDCD. The last study done was around 15 years ago.
There's not the money to fund this stuff because it's such a small population.
Even fundraising has been a challenge, with large businesses and donors telling them PDCD is simply too rare.
It doesn't meet the criteria for some big businesses to help because it's such a small population, and that's why we need help.
So the Higbees, along with other PDCD families they have met through social media, are taking on the challenge of raising money for research themselves. The University of Texas Southwestern started a gene therapy mice study in November with a price tag of around $500,000. If that is successful, it could open the doors to interest biotech companies, bring in grants, and move towards a human clinical trial. Dr. Trepane says the selflessness and altruism of families raising money to study rare disease is powerful, because by the time the research and trials are done, it may not be able to help Harlow, but it could help the next child with PDCD.
And I've lived long enough in this field to know that that has been true. There are children that we used to give diagnoses to and not expect to live for more than a year, and now there are effective treatments for them. And it's been 20 years.
And the Higbee family says they will never stop fighting to bring awareness to PDCD. Big sister Cassidy already says she wants to be a doctor someday. And looking towards the future, they have a simple hope for Harlow.
Pray Harlow's still here in 10 years. I hope that we get to the point of, we have a cure. For her, you can't obviously regain some of the brain damage that's there, but if she gets the gene replacement therapy, we could get her off the ketogenic diet. I hope she's out there fighting for other rare diseases at that point.
Oh my goodness, what a cutie. The Higbee family says they are also wanting to see PDCD added to newborn screenings because the earlier it is discovered, the better the outcome will be. They're having a fundraiser March 28th called Clays for Cure at Jacksonville Clay Target Sports and are still open to more teams. If you can't make that, you can also donate directly to PDCD research at www.hopeforpdcd.org. We have a contact and some other information about all this, as well as information about the fundraiser and a link to donate inside this story on firstcoastnews.com.